All right, so that's got to be the toughest loss of the season to take so far.
Oh, absolutely. You can't get worse than that. I mean, dominated the first half pretty handily. Moved the ball in the second half, but you can't fumble, and your receivers can't jump off sides. We had 4 receivers jump off sides in the second half, and we had 4 fumbles. I think unforced. I mean, they're going for it, but you got to be conscientious enough to know that they're going to try to strip the ball. We talked to them at halftime about it. We said it a million times on the sidelines, and the kids got to be able to hold on to the football. And you give them an opportunity to kick a long field goal, and that kid's going to nail it. He's the best kicker in the country, and if the game's on the line, he's going to be good to go, and he showed it today.
Fair to say, Fratmen 20, Fratmen 17 today?
I think so. I mean, I think we gave ourselves every opportunity to win the game in the first half, although we left some points on the board. And then in the second half, we did completely the opposite. We were careless, and we played dumb. I mean, can't do those things. Like I said, receivers can't jump off sides. It's almost unfathomable for me as a head coach and a former receivers coach to have receivers have 4 offsides penalties, and you can't fumble the ball 4 times. 2 on the last 2 possessions we fumbled. So I mean, those kind of things are a recipe for disaster, to say the least.
How does that switch happen between halftime?
I don't think it's a switch. I think we came out and played hard in the second half. I think we played pretty crisp at times in the second half, but when you fumble, it deflates you. And you had 2 running backs fumble, we had a punt return fumble, and we had a wide receiver fumble at the end. And those things, I mean, you can't do that, obviously. I mean, in any game, in any sport, even if you're playing a bad team, you're going to lose those games. We were playing an excellent team today, one of the best teams in the league, and they made us pay.
A win today would have put you to 5-2 and basically guaranteed a playoff spot. 5 wins will still get you in, I would think. But 27 wins, or 27-point spread rather, what I heard, gets you home field.
Yeah, and you know what? That went into the thinking at the end of the first half. We left some points on the board, and we went up 17 at that point, and that went into thinking. But we didn't talk about that at all at halftime. I mean, coaching staff knows. But we didn't talk to that about the players. That had no real factor. I told the guys at halftime, I don't care if we win by 1 or we win by 27. It doesn't matter to me. We need a win. And we came out in the second half, and like I said, I think they played hard. The plays were there to be had. Our defense played tough, but every point they had was off of a fumble.
The 27-point spread, you say you didn't really talk to the players about it, but it may have showed a little bit in the play calling. It looked like you guys were passing a little bit more in the second half.
At the start of the third quarter, we might have went away from it a little bit. We got back to what we do after that. But I mean, they were bringing a lot of heat. They were only in 4 deep, and they brought an extra guy up in the box to try to stop the run. They did a better job with it, but like I said, it's funny because people could say they stopped us in the second half, stopped our running game, but on the fumbles, we had a 7-yard gain on one fumble, a 10-yard gain on another fumble. At the end, Rice's fumble at the end, if he breaks that one tackle, he might go the distance on that. So we're close, and the guys played hard, but you got to be just more conscientious of the things that win games.
One guy who looked good in the first half and then barely saw him in the second, and he still looked good, was Marston.
Yeah, Marston played hard. Tough player. Maybe we went away from him a little bit early in the second half. Maybe we should have got him a little more reps, some bigger sets, and it didn't pay off. So, yeah.
I mean, it looked like every time you went in, something positive was happening for your team. What went into deciding to take him out?
Well, Bazaar looked pretty good too. I mean, he had a lot of yards on his carries. He seemed to go forward a lot on his when he got hit. He got a lot of yards after the contact. We were happy with him, and they're going to split carries from that tailback spot. And at the end, we went with a bigger back with Belarjar, and he fumbled. I mean, you put a big back in the game. That's the one thing you can't have out of a big back. And he's got to be better at that.